What's going on, guys? Ragnarok here, coming at you with a bit of a different video. What I'm going to be talking about today is Smash 4 at Genesis 4 and the 0.9 thing that happened. It was huge. Let's put it that way. To put it bluntly, Genesis 4 for Smash 4 was one of the biggest tournaments for probably most of the wrong reasons. That's literally all I can describe it as. Some huge moments were highlighted, and to put it bluntly, a lot of shit was stirred up as a result of this tournament. But for those who are wondering what the 0.9 meme is, because that was a meme for the entirety of top 8 of Genesis 4 as a result, or Genesis 3.9 as it is almost being called, which is amusing. And why has this happened? What has gone on? So let's talk about what happened. So to really understand what's going on, we need to look at one of the players that was involved, which was Captain Zack. He was ranked top 20 by the PGR in their most recent list as the Bayonetta main from Louisiana. Now he and Kamurakiri, the Japanese Dual Sonic and Cloud main, played a top 8 at Genesis 4, which was a surprise to everyone because Captain Zack, no one expected him to make top 8. You know, people like Larry Lur and Nairo and Esam, they were all eliminated a lot earlier, and Void as well. Other names that I cannot think of at the moment. They were eliminated a lot, and Salem as well, who was considered the better of the Bayonettas. So what happened in that set was the two played. There was a lot of tight situations with a lot of really close KOs, and Captain Zack, great to the dude, he won the set 3-1. However, after the set, Kamurakiri went up to one of the TOs and believed that the game was not on the correct tournament setting. It was on the 0.9 launch rate setting. In Smash 4, for anyone who doesn't know, if you play Melee, because I don't believe you can change this in Melee, or Brawl, but let's be honest, who plays Brawl? Anyway, you can change the launch rate. So you can increase the launch rate or decrease the launch rate, which was what happened here. Is something I've seen personally, not in tournament, because I don't go to many Smash 4 tournaments, but when you accidentally go down, you're like, oh, you're going to try and change the to stock and time, 2 stock 6 minutes. Sometimes you will catch with your thumb as you're going down, like as you're holding the thumb down on the control stick, you might hold it a little bit to the right or a little bit to the left, and that will change the launch rate. And as a result, it was set to 0.9. This was a huge deal. That meant that the reason why Kamurakiri called it out was because one of his kill throws that he believed killed did not kill. It did not get the KO that he was after. So it was a huge dispute on stage, because I was watching it live. That's why I want to talk about it, because I was watching the whole thing live. It's like, what's going to happen? There was calls for a reset on the entire set. The two ended up playing the 4th game that they played again. And obviously if Kamurakiri won, then they go to a game 5. So essentially they set it back to a 2-1 situation in Zack's favour, in which Zack completely bodied him once more. It was honestly disgusting, that 4th game repeat. But afterwards, it was, I mean, every single time something did not KO, it was called 0.9. Obviously, the setting was changed to 1.0 for the rest of the tournament. But one of the bigger disputes that was not acknowledged on stream, but was briefly almost acknowledged. It was going through Twitter. Twitter is, if you was on Twitter during Genesis 4 Top 8 for Wii U, oh dear lord, you were caught up in one hell of a storm, as I was trying to find out as much as I could. And one of the biggest disputes of it was what happened prior. What happened prior was that was not the first game of the top 8 set. The first match, of the top 8 set was Zero versus Dabuz. There was an entire set played before Captain Zack and Komura-Kiri played. That it was not known if that was on 0.9 or 1.0. Thanks to some research from A Star Third, his Twitter handle will be in the description below. He very quickly and impressively tested as soon as he could the kill percentages and tested right that Zero and Dabuz's game was also on 0.9, which is also a huge deal, which essentially meant almost 2 sets in a top 8 of... It was a really big tournament, to be fair. Like, Genesis 4 was definitely a lot bigger than Genesis 3 ever was, or ever could be, because so many more people were, like, hyped for Genesis 4. But, now it was like, well, what's happened here? You know, there's an entire set, and they couldn't try and amend it on the fly, like they could with Komura-Kiri and Captain Zack. Excuse me. This set had already done. This set was already decided. Zero had already won. I believe that was a 3-1 in Zero's favour. So it was like, well, did these matches matter? Many people were calling out that these sets should not count towards the rankings. And I do say that it was briefly acknowledged on stream, as I believe it was in between the Komura. It was either between the Komura-Kiri versus Zack set and the set after that, or between the set after that and it was between one of the sets, or maybe even one of the games, but unlikely. That TK Breezy and D1, who are the commentators for the top 8, TK Breezy did point out, it was like, we're noticing this on Twitter, and it's like, and D1's just like we're not saying anything. D1 does acknowledge that now, as his Twitter handle at this point is D0.9. So what does this mean? Well, first of all, I do want to point out Dabuz has made his did make a long message. He put that out there. If you want to go see that, do check his Twitter, which if I do remember, I will also put that in the description. He made a very long post about his opinion on the matter, because obviously he was affected by it. He was blatantly told that his set was played on 1.0, where, you know, that was proven wrong, proven very wrong, and it's like he's not mad over the loss. That's one of the brief points, and the other is the TO should have checked it better. Which, speaking of the TOs, I believe maybe even a couple hours after it all happened, maybe not even a couple hours, it was maybe even an hour after all the thing happened, it was Vasef, Bear, and Disciple, who were 3 of the TOs for the event, 3 of the main TOs. They put a video on Twitter, and they, and I quote, say, "There is absolutely no way those settings were changed by us." They said that Bear and Disciple checked those sets multiple times, and so it's like, well, how? If those settings were set, there's no video footage of those settings being changed. So how were they changed? How were they? How was that much of a mistake made? For such a, it made an impact. There was a lot of times in which it was like, okay, this should kill, and it didn't. An example that Starter Third used was game 4. Both Zero and Dabuz were at very, very high percents. Both had Rage, and Rosalina Dabuz got a free-hit jab combo that would have killed at on 1.0 but did not at 0.9. And in Captain Zack and Komari Curie set, obviously it was the kill throw that Komari Curie called them out on, and there was many other close calls. There was a lot of times in which Captain Zack would go off stage and do a neutral air to edgeguard Sonic, and it felt like some of those should have killed. It could have been made a massive difference, and for the time, the TO just didn't care. Or they didn't, I just apologise, that is a rude way of saying it. They didn't care, they just did not want to acknowledge it at that time. Presumably because they were on a tight schedule, which it's understandable, but it's like, can you at least acknowledge it? Like, okay, yeah, we made a mistake, we will have a statement about it later. Because news these days, you don't want to wait, you want now, alright? So when people are failing to acknowledge this, people are like, are you guys really to be trusted at these tournaments? This isn't the only example of where TOs were not suffice at the tournament. I will be going off to the side here as I get Twitter up. Because I forgot to get this one up. So the other example is from PG ESAM, Panda Global's ESAM, which I will try and find as quickly as I can. Thank you very much. Where ESAM actually was supposed to play someone else. The TOs did not actually put him with the right person. So I'm trying to get the actual tweets up about it, so I can actually quote it. No, I can't find it. But the ESAM did talk about it. If I can find it, I'll try and flash it on screen. If not, do look through ESAM and Larry Lowe's Twitter, because they were talking about it on Twitter. That him, I believe it was DSS, I want to say, were paired and they weren't supposed to. So there was another mix-up there. It was like, well, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? So that is where 0.9 came from. What happens now? It's all up in the air. Obviously 0.9 is a massive meme. Cloud9 is now become Cloud 0.9. Obviously D1 has now changed his Twitter handle to D0.9 for the time being. Hungrybox is making massive memes about this and riding this bandwagon all the way to the rainbow in the far corner of the earth. Asking if Melee can have that setting an Armada play on it, because it's not fair if he plays on 1.0, which I do find amusing. But what can we expect from the future? Is there going to be even more checks? Because obviously this was a big deal. And it was a big deal for the players involved. Komari Curie was not happy about that. And it was actually quite amusing afterwards as well. It was one of the biggest things not one of the biggest things, but definitely one thing that happened during that top 8 as well was MK Leo as well. And I'm not talking about MK Leo winning. If I can find it, I will try and flash it up on screen. If not, I apologise. But MK Leo made an extremely rash call out to Captain Zack. The two did not play in the end, but MK Leo, after Zack beat Abadango, advancing into guaranteed 4th place, he called out Zack and said that like there is no like, oh wow, Bayonetta's carried you to top 4, well done. And it's like, really? You're gonna get mad about this? Obviously he proceeds to win the tournament, but I believe there was a little bit of salt inherited. And I know Kamurakiri was not happy at all. And heck, if he's not happy about it, we may not even see him return to the States, which would be a shame because he's a very, very good player. But that's it for now, guys. Tell me what you guys think about the whole 0.9 situation. At the time when everything was going off, it was crazy. But now that it's Monday, it's like, what's going to happen now? How many more checks are going to happen, and are we going to find out who was responsible? Because we saw no footage of it, and we don't know if it was checked. Then it clearly wasn't checked very well. So are the TOs to be trusted? We shall see. But I shall see you guys later. Take care, everybody.